Shabba musical. There are crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, you will report it. Don't take law in your hands for the right authority. Well, it can't take your law in. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human talking, enemy you cheche. You wait for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must part to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Cyan, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Cyan.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia. We want peace in Liberia.
Robbie, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh, no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever location jumping till the break of dawn. Exodus Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exodus Best Price Store on Garland Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Easy, when you want some more, I provide. So we start to talk. Come on, some going deep and deeper. Put it to the kitchen.
One chicken say, Bogoni Oko, is a castle.
Let's say good morning to the beautiful people of Liberia. Welcome to the Monday edition of the program from the Print News. Today, January 19, 2026. It's good to be here this morning after a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And so we want to use this time to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you from where you are and following us. We want to welcome you to the January 19, 2026 edition of the program from the Print News. I'm Wendell and I'm here with Esther Daco. Esther, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Wendell. Good morning to the good people of Liberia. Today's Monday. It's good to be here. We have a lot to talk about. A lot of things happened on the weekend, and we have them all in the paper this morning. We're going to be talking about them. So, Wendell, I'm glad to be here.
Thank you very much, Esther. And let's say a big thank you to our sponsors, Crams Topper Liberia, Exodus Best Price Store with 2 branches, Gurley Street and Old Road Smart Road Junction, and Mayuba and Sons Incorporated. Well, yesterday was the climax of the National County Sports Meet where Nimba took the day. So we say congratulations to Nimba County for winning this year county meet. We also want to say congratulations to the boys of the Savannah Land, that's Grand Crew County. You guys did extremely well. So we want to use this time to say congratulations for your hard work. Good team. We saw this county meet from Grand Crew. But, you know, every game one must, take the day. So, Nima, we say congratulations, though. Congratulations to you. You did extremely well, too, by, winning the 2025 or 2026 National County Sports Meet. Well, folks, like Esther said, too many things happening over the weekend, and some of them are into the dailies this morning. So we have in our studio the hard copies of Front Page Africa and the Daily Observer. Those of you who are watching us, please don't just like or share. Please drop a comment in our comment section. All right. It's very important to know where you are watching us from. So those of you who are watching, please make it known by, dropping a comment in our comment section. So let's begin with the stories we have to share with you. We have 2 dailies in our studio, the Front Page Africa and the Daily Observer. Esther will bring us the Daily Observer, and I'm going to bring the Front Page Africa like I'm about to do now. So let's get to the top stories. It says here, County News, reducing family struggles. Jetty Rubber and SRC expand clean water access in Wiala, dedicate a new borehole. And that's good news. We say a big thank you to Jetty Robber and SRC. Also, this is business news. Development must be fair. LSEZA and AFDB and government partner to drive agro-industrial growth in Buchanan. And then lastly, this is somebody's opinion. The pedophilic war on our children must end now. We reject Sodom and Gomorrah. Liberia's silent epidemic. When will we say enough? All right, that's somebody's opinion. So, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Dozens of Liberian felons nabbed in ICE raid phase deportation. 9 to arrive Thursday. We will hunt you down. We will hunt you down. Yesterday, our law enforcement arrested monsters who sexually abused and raped children. These are the type of sickos we are getting out of our neighborhoods. We are not going to allow criminal illegal aliens to prey on children and victimize innocent Americans. If you come to our country illegally and break our laws, we will hunt you down, arrest you, and remove you from our country. Tricia McClogan, Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, Department of Homeland Security. So let's take a few lines. We have some very interesting stories. Don't be surprised any moment or any time you could see one of your family members coming to you, and don't ask them why they are here. They are lawbreakers. That's why they have been deported. So don't be surprised one morning when you wake up, you see some kind of call coming through. My man, I'm in town. Or when you got in, I got in last night. My man, I got some problem and I'm back home. So that's how some of them will be coming back home. And we see a couple of faces here. So let me run a few lines from this story. It says dozens of Liberians national convicted of serious crimes in the United States have been arrested in a sweeping series of U.S. immigration and custom enforcement ICE operations and now face imminent deportation, with 9 expected to arrive in Liberia on Thursday, according to sources familiar with the process. The arrests are part of Operations Metro Search, a large-scale immigration enforcement campaign launched by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, targeting what officials describe as the worst of the worst criminal undocumented immigrants across several states, including Minnesota, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. In a strongly worded statement, Tricia McClogan, Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at DHS, said the operation focused on individuals convicted of violent and sexual crimes, including offenses against children. Yesterday, our law enforcement arrested monsters who sexually abused and raped children. These are the type of sickos we are getting out of our neighborhoods, McClogan said. If you come to our country illegally and break our laws, we will hunt you down, arrest you, and remove you from our country. Liberians among those arrested. DHS confirmed that Liberian nationals are among those detained. Officials released names and photographs of several individuals taken into custody, highlighting extensive criminal histories. Those identified include Blayon Lawrence Yo, described as a Liberian national convicted of rape, sexual assault, robbery, larceny, assault, obstructing police, and possession of stolen property. Hassan Krumah, arrested in Philadelphia and convicted of rape and failure to register as a sex offender. Monica Zota, convicted of fraud and Victor Pine, arrested in Phoenix, Arizona, with the convictions including sexual assault and sexual exploitation of a minor. Can you imagine some of the things these guys are being deported for? Everything about them, rape, stealing, and you just name it.
And they coming here.
Yeah. But they come and join your friend and they get rapists in the country. So they come in to be a part. Liberian government aware of
Wow.
deportations. Let me get to this. It says it is not established whether the deportees from part of a broader enforcement push that has resulted into more than 2,500 detentions across the Minneapolis-St. Paul area and beyond since late 2025. Liberian government aware of deportations. The Liberian government has yet to issue an official statement on the arrests and impending deportations. However, a government source speaking on condition of anonymity confirmed that authorities are aware of 9 Liberians scheduled for deportation this week. The source noted that Liberia receives deportees from the United States annually, though the skill and publicity surrounding the current enforcement surge are unusually high. Legal challenges and controversy. While DHS maintains the operation targets violent repeat offenders, civil liberties groups and local officials have raised concerns about the scope and methods of the enforcement actions, particularly in sanctuary jurisdictions. One high-profile case involved Garrison Gibson, a 37-year-old Liberian immigrant in Minnesota who was arrested during the operation, released by court order, rearrested and released again within 48 hours. A U.S. District Judge, Jeffrey Bryan, ruled that Gibson's initial arrest violated the Fourth Amendment, finding that ICE agents forcibly enter his home without consent of a judicial warrant. In his ruling, the judge ordered Gibson's immediate release, declaring the detention unlawful. Court records show Gibson fled Liberia's civil war as a child and has lived in the U.S. for years under an order of supervision, complying with regular check-ins and monitoring requirements. Video footage of Gibson's arrest showing heavily armed agents using a battering ram to enter his home circulated widely online, intensifying public scrutiny of ICE tactics. Gibson's wife, Tiana Brown, said agents failed to present a judicial warrant before entering their home and left their residence damaged. Despite DHS claims that Gibson had a lengthy rap sheet, the court found that immigration officials failed to follow proper procedures before revoking his supervision status. Heightened scrutiny of ICE tactics. The Gibson case has become a flashpoint amid growing debate over federal immigration enforcement, particularly the legality of home entries, use of force, and protections afforded to long-term residents under supervision. Speaking publicly, Gibson said he will continue fighting deportation to Liberia, a country he has not visited since fleeing as a child. Meanwhile, DHS insists the operation is necessary to protect public safety, while critics argue the aggressive tactics risk undermining constitutional protections and eroding trust within immigrant communities. As deportation proceeds, attention is now focused on how Liberia will receive those removed and whether Monrovia will formally engage Washington over the handling of Liberia National Court in the crackdown. So that's the story. 9 Liberians to be deported this Thursday. And finally, for the front page Africa newspaper, let's bring you this story. Concerns mount as Senegal revokes Oranto petroleum license weeks after Liberia ratified deal. Writing on the wall. The decision by Senegalese authorities to cancel Oranto petroleum license has sent ripples across West Africa, raising questions in Liberia, where the government recently ratified a petroleum agreement with the company, a move analysts say should prompt immediate review and caution. Hey, Liberia, can you jump into things without verification? Sometimes it's good to do counter check. Yeah, Senegal rejected these people while Liberia just ratified, their Liberia, this country. But let's move on and take some lines from the air. It says concerns arising. There's concerns arising across the West African sub-region following the decision by the government of Senegal to revoke an offshore petroleum license held by Nigerian oil firm Oranto Petroleum. The African Energy Chamber announced on January 13 that Senegal's Ministry of Energy and Petroleum had withdrawn Oranto Petroleum's license for the Kenya offshore shallow block and assumed full state control of the asset. According to information released by the chamber, the decision came after repeated formal demands by Senegal's Minister of Energy, Barham Souleye Diop, for Oranto to submit adequate financial guarantees to back its agreed work program under the contract. Senegalese authorities said the company failed to meet those requirements within the stipulated time frame, prompting the state to act in line with national petroleum legislation and contractual provisions. Government officials in Dakar explained that the revocation followed a comprehensive legal, technical, and regulatory review conducted by relevant authorities. The review assessed Oranto's compliance with its contractual obligations, including its financial capacity, execution of exploration commitments, and adherence to agreed timelines. Under Senegal's upstream petroleum governance framework, officials said the failure to provide financial guarantees constituted sufficient grounds for the license to revert to the state. The African Energy Chamber said the action demonstrated Senegal's firm stance on contractual discipline and regulatory enforcement, emphasizing that financial guarantees are essential to ensure that license holders have the capacity to carry out exploration and appraisal activities effectively. The chamber noted that the Senegalese government views strict enforcement as necessary to protect national interests, avoid prolonged inactivity in license blocks, and maintain investor confidence in the sector. Oranto Petroleum is a privately owned Nigerian oil and gas exploration and production company with operations and licenses across several African countries. The company generally focuses on early stage exploration and technical work, often relying on partnership to finance drilling and development. In Senegal, in 2008, and reportedly invested only limited funds in exploration activities. Industry sources indicate that the company faced difficulties attracting partners willing to co-invest in advancing the block. The Kea offshore shallow block is located north of Dakar Peninsula and forms part of Senegal's shallow water exploration portfolio. It contains 13 identified leads and is considered oil prone, with some prospects believed to hold several hundred million barrels of oil in place. Compared to Senegal's deep water acreage, the area has remained relatively underexplored, allowing state to reconsider its potential and decide whether to relicense the block or include it in future licenses rounds. That's licensing round. The African Energy Chamber stressed that the license withdrawal should not be interpreted as a signal of reduced openness to private sector participation, stating that Senegal remains committed to working with international and indigenous oil and gas companies that demonstrate strong technical expertise, financial capacity, and long term commitment in line with national priorities and international best practices. Well, I think we can stop right here and send controls to Esther to run us through the Daily Observer newspaper.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miguel. Let's have it. We have the Daily Observer on our Vex this morning. The top story here says, "No visa, one Africa. How an ex-Ghanaian prime minister is reviving a prime African dream with a road trip that is challenging colonial borders." We see the photograph of the ex-Ghanaian prime minister and a journalist, Ras Mubarak. He meets with Vice President Jeremiah Cohn here. They are Jetty Robert SRC increase clean water supply for over 6,000 Maldivians. Right. So let's have page 10. It says no visa restriction. It says as debates over migration borders and national sovereignty intensify across the globe, a small but determined pan-African team is crisscrossing the continent with a bold message. Africa must dismantle its internal visa regimes and reclaim the freedom of movement vision by its founding fathers. Leading that charge is former Ghanaian lawmaker and journalist Ras Mubarak, whose Trans-Africa Tourism and Unity campaign is steadily transforming an idealistic slogan, Visa Free Africa, into a serious continental policy conversation. Liberia became the 30th country visited by Mubarak and his 7-member team since the campaign began in August, with Cote d'Ivoire next on the list. Backed by the endorsement of the government of Ghana and welcomed by Liberian authorities, including the Vice President, Foreign Minister, Immigration, Director, and Tourism Authority, upon he and his team arrival in the country. The campaign is gaining political traction even as it exposes the deep structural barriers Africans face when moving within their own continent. Africa must be visa free by 2030, Mubarak told schools of journalists at a press conference held at the Ghanaian embassy in Monrovia over the weekend. In this era of global instability, Africans must unite, integrate, and the call for free movement in Africa is not new. In 1960, Ghana's first president, Osagi for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, alongside Madibo Keïta of Mali and Sekou Touré of Guinea and King Mohammed V of Morocco, met in Casablanca with a vision of a united Africa where Africans could travel freely without visas. More than 6 decades later, that dream remains largely unfulfilled. Today, it is often easier for an African to travel to Europe than to another African country. A Liberian seeking to visit North or Southern Africa must navigate visa processes that are costly, time consuming, and frequently humiliating. Barriers that Mubarak urges are a direct continuation of colonial control mechanisms. What we are doing today by requiring Africans to obtain visas before entering African countries is reminiscent or apartheid era treatment of Africans, he said. It is reminiscent of colonization and it must be dismantled. Unlike policy papers written in conference rooms, the Trans African campaign is grounded in life experience traveling by road in two vehicles. The team, 8 Ghanaians, 7 men, and 1 woman, has crossed West African Southeast Africa, passing through Togo, Benin, Nigeria, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, and to Congos, Angola, Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya. What they encountered was a continent erratically committed to integration or particularly hostile to African mobility. In Cameroon, electronic vices were rejected, forcing team to drive 10 hours back to Nigeria to reapply. Mm, Imagine. Mubarak revealed leaving Cameroon was also difficult as officials refused to process their exit on a Sunday because they do not work on Sundays. Imagine a market woman transporting perishable goods being stopped simply because it is a Sunday, Mubarak said. These are real challenges affecting African trade and mobility. The campaign also faced a road accident in Zimbabwe, security related route changes, and outright visa denials twice to Mauritania for their Botswana trip. It took 3 months for the team, even with Mubarak, a former member of the parliament, as its head, to secure a visa. If it takes an African former MP 3 months, imagine how difficult it is for students or petty traders, he noted. Mubarak's central argument is economic as much as ideological. Africans' visa regimes, he contends, actively undermine trade, tourism, and industrialization, keeping African economies depends on raw commodity exports and external markets. One day I want to stop there. This is so very long.
Mm.
We're not going to leave right here. But let's see. Jetty Rubber SRC increases clean water supply for over 6,000 Gibeons. When this guy is doing a
Yeah.
seriously great job. The
Uh,
newly dedicated borehole, which runs on the company's power supply, brings to 9 the total number of boreholes operated by Jetty Rubber and SRC, collectively serving over 6,000 residents across host communities. This guy is doing well, to be honest. And now we have US visa pause rekindles debate on targeted sanctions versus broad restrictions. Koji terms visa pause as troubling for the nation. History, will you take that?
A few lines from there.
Okay.
Folks, just pause. We'll soon get to our weather report, man, after running you through these stories. So keep listening. This is the Print News.
Right. So we have the story here. It says opposition Congress for Democratic Change Secretary General Jefferson Koji has re-entered the national spotlight following a new U.S. immigration policy that temporarily halts immigrant visa processing for citizens of 75 countries, including Liberia. In a strong worded social media post published last week, Koji affirmed the latest development as evidence of what he calls a troubling shift from targeted sanctions against individuals to a sweeping restriction that affects the entire Liberian population. Koji, who was sanctioned by the United States in 2023 over allegations of public actions deemed to undermine democratic institutions, insists that the measures against him were rooted in lies and political propaganda. He now urges that Liberia honor the Unity Party led administration of President Joseph Newman Boakai and Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn is bearing a heavier burden than during the CDC's term in power. Yesterday, it was individuals who were sanctioned. Today, under the Boakai and Kuhn mission, the entire country carries the weight of sanctions, Koji asserted. Koji's comments come on the heels of an announcement by the administration of US President Donald Trump pausing immigration visa processing for nationals of 75 countries. The US State Department said the policy targets countries whose migrants, according to the US data, rely heavily on public assistance. The State Department will pause immigrant visa processing for 75 countries whose migrants take welfare from the American people at unacceptable rates. The department said in a post on X, adding that the suspension will remain in effect until adequate safeguard as established. Liberia's inclusion on the list has sparked widespread concern at home and abroad, given the country's deep historical, economic, and social ties to the United States. Thousands of Liberians pursue family reunification, employment based immigration, and diversity visa each year, making immigration policy changes particularly sensitive. At the core of Koji's argument, it is comparison between two distinct policy approaches by the United States targeted sanctions versus broad-based restrictions. He he contends that while sanctions during the CDC-led government focus on specific officials accused of wrongdoing, the current visa pause affects ordinary Liberians with no connection to governance or corruption. Koji argued that this shift represents a heavier and more unjust burden. The policy will prevent thousands of Liberians from traveling to the United States, just as I have been prevented, he said, drawing a parallel between his personal experience and the broader national impact. The crux of his logic is that collective penalties are more damaging than individualized accountability. In his view, targeted sanctions isolated alleged offenders while sparing the wider population, whereas countrywide immigration restrictions undermine opportunities for students, families, and workers who depend on lawful migration pathways. We'll stop you there. The story is so long. I don't have the energy to read more. Let's see here. It says Liberia sets ambitious NDC 3 point that's 3.0 targets but lacks posted plan for full implementation. Let's bring you to the back page of the Daily Observer. Government empowers the visually impaired. Over 100 receive business loans. This is good news. We like to hear this kind of stuff when you're because we have been talking about this, and I mean to see this. I feel happy about it. It says the Save the Future project, otherwise called the National Street Children Project, has awarded business grants to over 100 visually impaired individuals as part of the government's strategy to relocate vulnerable members of society from the streets to live or to lives of respect and autonomy. The grant award ceremony, organized under the patronage of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, saw the attendance of government representatives, disability organizations, social workers, as well as beneficiaries. This project is intended to support small scale businesses that have the capability to uplift the income levels of the target population in a sustainable manner while ensuring that the schooling for the beneficiaries' children is not affected. Giving a perspective on the program, a facilitator, Toga Tapit, reminded the participants that they were not being granted loan, but rather seed funds
directed at exclusively growing business. They discussed this as a function, and it was before I was involved with the organization. Tape, remember, again, emphasizing that it was a government function to move children off the street for their own safety. People who can see will get knocked down. I mean, can see will get knocked down by. I mean, people who can see will get knocked down by a car. It is a danger for you, even greater, Tabet stated. The government is not pleased with their presence on the streets. This is why your children are currently enrolled in school. And this is why this money is being provided for you, not for spending, but for doing business. He underscored that it was actually the recipients who had asked for business assistance. In order to move out from street begging, and the government's reaction in terms of funding, along with direction and surveillance, came about, using a proverb that resonated with his locality. The Tape exhorted the audience to own their progress. When someone watches your back, you too have to watch your stomach. Help yourself whenever help comes. Tapper reported that beneficiaries were able to identify some business ideas, such as the sale of food products, cooking oil, mix, goose, slippers, and clothes. He also, however, cautioned that success depends on careful planning, understanding one market, and keeping accurate records of expenses such as transportation and packaging. Let's stop there. Top George withdrawn from 3.3 million petroleum case after allegation of bias and her lack of transparency was raised. This is it. When they are so far so good, these are all the stories.
Thank you very much, Esther. Shortly, we're bringing our weather report man to get us the weather for today, Monday. All right, so let's recap those stories we brought you from the front page Africa newspaper and the Daily Observer. Right after that, we take our break and then we go to our weather report man, Suleiman Tunis, to give us the weather report for today. So these are the stories we brought you. This is the front page Africa top stories, reducing family struggles. Jetty Rubber and SRC expand clean water access in Wiala and dedicate a new borehole. Development must be fair. LSEZA and AFDB government partner to drive agro-industrial growth in Buchanan. And pedophilic war on our children must end now. We reject Sodom and Gomorrah. Liberia's silent epidemic. When will we say enough? And dozens of Liberian felons nabbed in ICE raid face deportation, and 9 to arrive Thursday. We will hunt you down. So says the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And lastly, for the front page African newspaper, concerns mount as Senegal revokes Oranto petroleum license week after Liberia ratified deal. Writing on the wall. The decision by Senegalese authorities to cancel Oranto's petroleum's license has sent ripples across West Africa, raising questions in Liberia, where the government recently ratified a petroleum agreement with the company, a move analysts say should prompt immediate review and caution. That does it for the front page Africa, the Daily Observer. No visas. One Africa. How an ex-Ghanaian prime minister is reviving a pan-African dream with a road trip that is challenging colonial borders. And U.S. visa pause rekindles debate on targeted sanctions versus broad restrictions. Koji terms visa pause as troubling for the nation. And Jetty Rubber and SRC increase clean water supply for over 6,000 Magibians. And lastly, for the front page, Liberia sets ambitious NDC 3.0 targets, but lacks costed plan for full implementation. The back page, government empowers the visually impaired. Over 100 receive business loans. And lastly, Top George withdrawn from 3.3 million petroleum case after allegations of biases and her lack of transparency was raised. Well, that's all we can take. Let's quickly take our break. When we come back, we're going to be hearing from our weather report man, Suleiman Tunis. So let's go and take our break.
Robbie, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh, no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exeter's Best Price store on Gurley Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Easy, when you want some more, I provide. So we start to talk. Come on, so going deep and deeper. Put in thought to each game. We are living since
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-side justice in this country, none of us will be saved. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sanya, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sanya.
We want peace in Liberia.
Okay, folks. Thank you to Crime Stopper Liberia. Thank you to Exeter's Best Price store with 2 branches. One is on Gurley Street, and another one is on the Oral Smart Road Junction. And we also have part of us is Mayuba and Sons Incorporated, one of the big hands in the petroleum business in Liberia. All right, folks, we are set and ready to bring you the weather report with our man Suleiman Tunis. So let's leave the shores of Liberia and cross over to the US of A. Tunis, good morning from our end and welcome.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Mama Liberia. Assalamu alaikum to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Your good friend Suleiman Hashim Tunis with the weather report. This morning, today, which is already midday in Liberia, is about 83 degrees as we speak, partly sunny. 83 degrees, but feels like 90. You're going to have a lot of sunshine today, probably in mid evening, 4 to 5 o'clock. You might experience a little bit of shower, light rain, which is not really possible, but you might. But it's going to be real hot today again. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the sun will go down a little bit. We'll experience light rain all day. You experience little light rain. The sun may not shine that much tomorrow. It's going to be 82 degrees, feels like 87. But you experience light rain throughout, and the sun will not be like the previous days you've been experiencing those hot sun. But it's going to be a little light, cloudy a little bit, and little light rain. And same thing going to repeat itself on Wednesday. So don't worry. You're gonna have a little break with the sunshine starting from tomorrow and Wednesday. But today they will continue with heat. The heat will be in the air. So be careful how you get out there. If you're working outside, don't overdress yourself because there will be a humidity today, which is 90 degree. 90-degree weather is humid. Okay, say you hear it from Freedom FM. Freedom FM will always give you the accurate weather reports. Not like other people that are guessing to you, but Freedom give you accurate weather, and then you can take it to the bank, and that's about it. Today we're gonna get a lot of sun. I mean, a little bit of sunshine with small, little bit probably mid evening. You might get a little rain, but don't depend on this. Not anything to last. And the sun will high itself tomorrow and Wednesday a little bit. Not going to be shining like a few days. A few days. I know you guys been experiencing hot sun in the Monrovia area, but it's going to give you a break, 2 days break. Okay. This is your weatherman Suleiman Hashim Tunis from New York City, and we'll be giving you follow us this evening with Nighttime Spin. We'll give you more detail of the weather report. Thank you again, Wendell Esther. Let me send control back to you.
Thank you very much, Tunis, for always fitting us in with the weather report. Thank you so much. And so, to all of you who heard the weather report, well, you just have to, adjust yourself because if you don't take what was just reported, well, that's your business. But you heard the weather report. So, Tunis, thank you very much. I don't know whether you stay hanging around or you're on your way to work now. So, if you are leaving, well, we just want to say thank you.
I'll be with you for a minute.
Okay. So, folks, those are the stories we brought to you this morning. And, the last time we were here talking about, the government arresting parents and children of school going age from off the streets because they said that it was wrong to have kids, while they're supposed to be in school selling. And these kids are depending or dependents. Let me put it that way, because if they don't come out to sell, it means that they wouldn't get anything to eat at home because their parents are visually impaired. Some are facing physical disabilities, and you just name it. So they use these kids as, a form of breadwinner. But we just read a story this morning about the government, empowering some visually impaired more than this money too. It's supposed to be done through the office of the disability people in this country. They have the commission on people living with disability in this country. So Esther, for me, this is a news that I'm not going to celebrate. And I just told you why I'm not going to celebrate this news. Because you cannot have 15 counties and you just go and say, oh, look, that man over there is visually impaired. I got some connection. Bring him. Bring the other person. Bring that other person. You just selected a few and you give them money. You go check it out. All of these people that were given business loans, according to them, are all people that are connected to them somehow. So the government is not something we come and celebrate you. No, I would not celebrate you because this news is overdue. In fact, you have done nothing. When you have more than 100,000 people living with disabilities and you just selected a few of them to give them business loan, I don't think this should be decentralized. It should be done simultaneously in all of the counties that the government has started doing X, Y, Z. But check it out now, the 100 people, the FINIO, it's sad for our country, man, Esther. I'm telling you, it's sad. When the government just wasting money on spending money on things that would not benefit us as a country. Why you don't tackle these things? You'll go on the street now and go see. Because the people shouldn't lie. It's a lie. There are kids still selling when they're supposed to be in school. Go on the streets now as we speak. You will see them. Even some of you who are listening to us where you are, there are kids there right now selling. So the government need to do a lot more. This is a national emergency. It's a national emergency because you're not going to take few of your family members who are visually impaired. You go and bless them with few business loan and you say you have done much. No, our window will not celebrate that news. So let me stop here and hear from Esther, and then we'll go to Tunis.
Right. Wendell, first of all,
I think we have Gus. Is that Gus?
yes, he's on.
Okay.
And I want to say, first of all, even though you don't want to appreciate that, what's.
I'm not going to celebrate this news, Esther.
So I'm not celebrating, right?
It's
I'm
nothing
not-
to celebrate.
Right. I'm not celebrating, but I mean, this is a step forward from, where we're coming from. We know that the visually impaired people, they have really needed this step. Even if it's just few people who have benefited from this thing, we hope that the rest of the people can be reached, because this is not about just a selected few. We don't know how the vetting went about, because you have people with different ideas of businesses and all of that. We must first of all look into if these businesses are established and they break down, one way or the other, because these people have needs. They got kids, I read a portion where they talk about school and all of that. I don't know whether these kids are already in free school, because if they are not in free school, I mean, the business money is going to be temporary. We don't know how much was given to each of these 100 people, but I want to appreciate the fact that you guys have started this process, and we are hoping that you can reach the rest of the visually impaired community. I don't know the population number, but if everybody, is met with this thing, it's gonna help. It's gonna help a lot, because at the end of the day, we do not want to see these kids back in the street. We want to see them in school. That's what we want. And it's so risky for them, for the fact that they will be walking up and down the street, begging and stuff like that. It poses a serious risk to their lives. Even we who got eyes, we see people get involved with different kind of accidents. Some kind of car hit somebody, like that, and that person got eyes. So
Maybe-
we're hoping
maybe-
that government can do more.
Maybe
We're
Edmond
saying
Carr them
we
benefited.
appreciate- is he visually impaired?
Yeah, Edmond Carr is visually impaired.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was his leg or something else. Okay. But Edmond, I'm sure Edmond is gonna call. I'm sure Edmond got some information,
Mhm.
because he's part of a community. He will be able to tell us how this whole vetting thing went about, because I am interested in that But I must first of all say we appreciate the fact that you guys have started this, even though we do not understand how you went about your vetting process. We hope that others, who are very interested in business, who are already doing business, they need help to boost up whatever they have, that you guys can also reach out to them.
All right, let's go to Tunis. From there, we can bring in Gus, and then we take maybe 10 or 15 minutes to do calls. So, Tunis, let's hear from you on this issue. Tunis, you are muted.
Okay. I almost left, but thank God I stayed around until you guys came back. First of all, I want to say congratulations to our county mate champion, Nima County. They did well. They put up a heavy crowd yesterday. Also want to say congratulations to our African giant champion, the Senegalese team, or the Senegalese country. When it comes to, I think we're talking about getting rid of the kids off the street, right?
Of course.
Yeah, man, how can you get rid of the kids off the street if you don't have no facility to take them in? You got to make provision for those kids in the streets. If you remove them, because most of these kids are in the streets, they are not biologically living with their own parent. They live with others, and those that are living with their parents, it might be the girls' children that they're using to get funds to feed themselves. So if the government's serious about taking those people from the street, I think they need to get a facility for them all over the county, every county. Those things are not too much to build. Our former president did a lot. If you go in every county in Liberia, our former president Handmark is there. And we never knew this actually until right now. One kid is going from county to county pointing to them. So there's government which have vast experience. This is their third term, which is going to be 18 years, taking control of Liberia. They should do better to build facility for these kids, instead of just saying it to appear like they're doing it and making fool out of we the Liberian. That's what the government is doing. The money is there to do this, and this is not a lot of money to build facility, put people there to take care of these kids. These were some of their promises. But we're going into the third years now. We have nothing but just saying it. We're getting rid of the kids from the street. But the more they say it, the more you see the kids in the street. Now they're going to tell us, oh, we're doing our job because we have food. The people come and just make food out of us. They say it, but they don't implement it. That's what the Liberian government is doing to us right now. But we will see. The only person that say and did is, you can go and check for yourself. Every county in Liberia, including Southeast and every part of Liberia, there is George Weah Handmark that benefiting the county dwellers. You don't believe it? Check it for yourself. So that's my take on this children off the street. It's just a bogus and mockery on the Liberian people, especially the city. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's hear from him.
Gus, are you there? Go ahead.
Yes, I am. Yes, good morning. Thank
Good
you.
morning, Gus.
Thank you. Happy MLK Day. It's a great day for America. It's a great day in America.
Today's a holiday here. This is Martin Luther King Day. Thank you for saying that.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, again, like Esther said, you can make some compliments for the fact that they're trying or they're making effort, but is it really an effort? Because, these are issues, right? This is an entire country. If you have an issue, you should be approaching the issue in a way where you can eradicate it. You're not just band-aiding it. You see what I'm saying? And in this country, one thing I've continued to understand is this. When it comes to eradication of issues that affect public officials, it's done correctly because they pass the law, it affects them, they do everything right. But when it comes down to the citizens, it's not the case. So let's think about a situation. Like Tunis said, you get them out of the street. Even if it's 100 people you got out of the street, where did you take them? They have to live. A human being lifespan, we know, is not short. So what is the plan for that? Are those kids going to go to school? Before you get them out of the streets, what plans do you have for their families and parents? Is there any kind of a roadmap? Is there any kind of a plan for that? No. So the Liberian situation, administrations after administrations, we do not really take the issues rightly and take care of it. Like Tuna said, the former government, with all the stuff that they did, why are we having some individual going out and telling us what they did? Because the officials that were there back then were so worried about themselves and the position and titles that they carry, to the point where it became a detriment to their own self. So that's the Liberia we live in. We don't have people that really care. We don't have leaders. We have people that are just coming to, do for themselves. That's it. Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you very much, Gus and Tunis. The reason why I don't want to, draw President Weah into this thing because, President Weah, they said that he was doing nothing, so they were going to come in and fix everything. So that's why I didn't want to bother anything because
that's true.
Those of all,
That's true. They were rescued.
Yeah. They said they have come to rescue the country, but are they really rescuing the country or they have come to drown us? Because every day people complain how the economy is good. Some people then economy telling the people telling us that the economy is bad. The U.S. rate keeps fluctuating. The prices of basic commodity is skyrocketing in the country. So where do we stand as a country? Don't mind all of the things you see out there. These people are just doing what was left undone. Government is continuity. When the government stops somewhere, the other government will come there and pick it up from there. I don't know whether you're noticing something, Esther, the street lights they are putting around. They're not shining at all. You see street lights, it says street light on, but you're driving, you can't see. The lights are dim, very dim.
And the saddest part about it, when you the driver now who's driving at night, you have to have a very bright light, which is wrong. Other drivers are driving with light in their face, and be able to see.
Exactly.
It's a serious problem.
Because that thing can cause accident.
Oh yeah.
The lights are very dim. So I don't know what kind of substandard lights these guys are installing. They call street lights. What kind of country is this?
And they're probably not maintenance. They don't check it out. When I left blow, or trust me, in that place will be dark. No light, nobody will care.
Before the war, those street lights we had, to even find people coming to change their bulb that were for years. But all the street lights now, you see, they are all dim. And they said, look, man, you guys are not really serious. But let's take a few calls. We got to go. We have like 12 more minutes to be here. So let's take a few calls. Maybe we can take 10 calls and then we wrap up from here. But thanks to all of you for watching. Thanks for your comments. This country, our issue, not a small issue. Liberia business ain't got any. I'm telling you. I saw the people just causing traffic. They say they're installing street lights. Can't see the street light on. Jedel Kendall said, cannot say it can shine more than that light than it pull up. I'm telling you, I'm serious about it. You know, I'm very serious of what I'm saying. The street lights are very dim. I don't know. Well, let's take a few calls. You can call us on 0776 104 104, 086 500 104, the female line 0770 297 016. I hope our man can call and give us some information, whether he got his share of the bargaining. You know, Edmond Kai. Edmond Kai is a visually impaired guy who is putting Bwaka feet to fire to make sure that. So I don't know. So let's take few calls on and go home. Our lines are open. Where our phones? Let's get hand of it. Okay, the lines are open now. You can call and make your contribution on this number just announced: 0776 104 104, 086 500 104, 0770 297 016. Let's take you as our first caller. Hello?
Thank you. Edmond Kai is the first.
Edmond, what's up?
I'm okay. Let me say hi to you and our brothers in the US.
My man, I come and send you my mobile money, so that money you collected, so you will send my own.
Yes.
You know, in the first place, I'm not even aware of that vetting process that took place, and if even the information was made available to me, I was not even going to apply. They were not going to accept me. They're going to deny me. You know, the government. I've already been accused by the United States of that I insult their president on your various media. They call it media radio station. You know, they suspended MCD boss. He accused me all over. We are going back and forth with this on the social media. So they were not even going to allow me. But yeah, it's an issue. 2008, there was statistics, I mean, not the exact of the year, the disabled community was put at 800,000. So from 2008 to Ellen Josie Stelly's second term and George Weah first term come into Bwaka 2 years, we are estimating 1 million or 1 million plus person living with disability. So if you have about 1 million plus people that are living with disabilities, then you just take 100% from there. That's a joke. You know, that's a charade. And they are also using day to play on the mind of the disabled people. I'm placing call to most of them because Bwaka are also evaluated our rights. Person living with disability does not have job and opportunity in this country. Although the establishing the National Commission on Disability says that at least every government institution should be able to employ at least 4% of qualified disabled people. But that is not working. The only place that they feel that we are restricted is at the one National Commission on Disability where you only appoint 3%. Then at the end, they bring in other people that can work with it. The capacity of that institution is not to that extent that will be able to absorb many disabled people. So for now, that is the place for us. So what he has done, when the issue of eating the disabled poor money taking place between or sending the disabled community, when they suspended him, we feel that he was to bring the same disabled people to say acting or also because we know the history of Bwaka acting here. Because once Bwaka suspend and bring acting here,
it's perpetual. Yeah, perpetual.
So when Bwaka brought him in acting here, he's a normal person. He wants job and also runner right or something. He's a normal person. He brought him acting here of the National Commission on Disability. He brought one other blind person assisting to him, and we are saying no.
So does your Edmond, does the act that created the National Commission on Disability, does it violate that to have a normal person to serve in?
Yeah, it's exclusively disabled, especially when you come to the appointment area. And the only people that you will see working in our institution are supposed to be service providers. They want the service provider, the drivers, the janitor, and sometimes the office assistant, if you got a qualified challenge guy, you can serve as office to any of the director.
Okay.
Even the accountant, if you have a serious accountant, disabled person, once they are physically challenged, they can see, they can serve as the accountant.
Okay.
In our institution, even the controller right now, he is a physically challenged guy. He graduated from Washington Master Program.
Okay.
One of the accounting now is the guy that can see, but if he found qualified person to serve in that position, they can serve in that position. So, only service provider you will see then coming to come help us to some error.
Okay.
We talk about the major department where the executive director, the executive director for administration, technical services are all belong to disabled people. But to see normal person, they appointed there using the nomenclature acting here, that's a affront to the disabled community, and we are just giving this time between, maybe 2 months, 3 months. Is Apostle Wright cannot be able to resolve the issue, that is, the census being to the GSC to do a he return on that, but there are qualified people there. He was looking for acting air. He needed to maybe go ask the controller to sell an acting or
Okay.
the personnel director who also graduated from the University of Liberia to sell as an acting air.
Okay.
But to go and take somebody from outside that they are normal, their eyeballs shining, to can't use 100% receiving a loan as a cover up for you to come and each one of the disabled people. That is not going to be allowed. I don't want to join black government. We just told you not given to me.
Okay.
So what is the law of the right should be given to the disabled people, and we're going to be flagging the issue. Going to be depending on you guys to help us flag the issue. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the voice of the visually impaired guy, Edmond Kai, who is putting Bwaka feet to fire. Let's go to the female general. Masisi, welcome to the show. Masisi. Masisi, are you there? Hello? Yeah, Masisi, welcome. I'm okay. What are you asking me for?
Hello, Masisi.
Okay, doctor. Go ahead.
Long time ago, Happy New Year. You lost from all. Can't see you. I go hear your voice this morning. Look, window, you put set it off. They came to rescue, they came to kill, see, and destroy. I was ready for Bwaka.
Oh, Masisi, your line this morning. Please change your shift a little bit. I don't know what's happening to your line.
To an old man. So they were going on your country now. We're not seeing nothing going on. You tell us to not put our children in the street to sell, which is the visually impaired that my brother has left it. You said it all. What you doing now that you put it into a place that they cannot sell in the street? Are you opening place for them to poll them that they will be going to, they will leave their family, they will be selling 3 times or eating 3 times a day and will pay attention to that thing? I say, no, you're not doing nothing yet. You're taking food from the street, children are taking drugs. So they were the air today. Nothing is going on in the country. People destroy our country. They say we have 4 countries. I can ask them. We have 4 countries. You see, our RA will be built on our administration. We have 4 the country and you build military hospital. We have 4 the country and you build hospital in Buffalo and Grand Gila. That the one you call countries for. We have 4 the country you build that of Freedom Blow and Break Ground and do it. Then you say we have some of the countries that we have 4. But you can see at the free of Morovia. You see the gigantic hospital that have been destructed there. So it continues. We know for our and more than dead, it continues. Our people, I don't know how them. You see the day they're sending over there that we are, but they say it's for the country. We are suffering with them. Everybody will have to go, but when the people is booming with them, at least everybody will tell the fact. You can let the in the market when they buy, you can buy food and profile somewhere for a friend to go to school. And come to school, I see lessons. But nothing is going on in the government. We struggling. It's not easy. We find that difficult on the government. They say we have 4 countries. They can affect the country. That's not going on in our country. The country is very messed up. You're talking about the level of putting on. Very challenging, like the bro. Kind of person they want to 4 years while you can't open our get my own. We go inside, it start going off. They go off in the street. They say but we have 4 countries who put light in the street. What is light you put in the street? They're not in the light in don't community. We're coming inside and don't community. They perfect for you down. You know what I'm saying? And people don't say, the very sad we're talking there, they didn't listen to us. But I want to say, I say, for come up in power 2 hours because the money for one thing.
Okay.
What are they flying for now? What are they flying? We are wicked men to the extent that you are killing poultry in the pot, taking their kidney. They open the fire, they go there, you get, I don't know, you talking about, they trying to die, they kill them, the evidence proving that yes, indeed, they dry in the water. Can you kidding me? Get them bring all of fire out, you know?
Okay.
All of for again, we are, it came. See, missing ball. They all thought that. They all put that. They all mess up that we are dead. They all women are scared.
Okay, Masisi, thank you. We've pressed for time, so we got to leave it right there, Masisi. No time. We don't have time in our favor. So we want to say a big thank you to all of you for being a part today. We just can go through the comments. We have our commercials commitment in few seconds. So we again say congratulations to Nima County. And we also want to say a big thank you to the Grand Crew County and to the former president of Liberia. After the game yesterday, he had a session for the Grand Crew County team at the Jamaica Resort. So I want to say thank you ever so much, former President Weah. And this is how we send controls to our partner Gus and Tunis to take 30 seconds each to wrap up.
All right, I'll go quick. Thank you. Hey, thank you guys for affording me the time to come on here. Good luck, Liberia. We're inside.
You guys, thank you for listening to us. And as the weather report man said to you, follow us, Freedom FM, to get an accurate weather report. And follow us this evening, by late evening, by 11 o'clock in your time, tonight, 11 p.m., and we'll give you detail of what we discussed here this morning or today. This is your good friend Suleiman Hashim Tunis coming to you from New York City. Back to you guys, and good day to you guys.
Thank you very much, Tunis, and we'll catch up with the nighttime Spain later on this evening at 11 p.m. Folks, don't miss out the Spain tonight. Tunis will be here with Gerald Morris at 11 p.m. Thanks for listening, and bye-bye.